Module 1. The tools needed to perform a haircut and a beard trim. Let's look at the clipper. There are two parts to learn about the clipper. The first is the lever on the side, and the second is the guard attachments here. The first part we need to learn is the lever on the side, which is responsible for moving the cutting blade closer to or further away from your stationary blade. This is known as lever closed and lever open. Lever closed is when the cutting blade is closest to the stationary blade, resulting in a shorter hair cutting length, and lever open is furthest away from the stationary blade, which results in a longer hair cutting length. As you can see here, the blade comes closer, the cutting blade comes closer to the stationary blade, and it goes further away when you open it. So lever closed is labeled as number 0. This is a number 0, and lever open is labeled as a 0.5. So the second part we need to learn is the guard attachments. Each guard cuts the hair down to a specific length, and it's labeled by a number. The shortest guard attachment is labeled a number 0.5, which will cut the hair down to 1.5 millimeters in size, and it is also known as a 1/16 of an inch. The next guard attachment is a number 1, which cuts the hair down to 3 millimeters in size, and it is also known as a 1/8 of an inch. The next is a 1.5, and it cuts down to 4.5 millimeters in size, and it is also known as 3/16 of an inch. The next is a number 2, and the number 2 cuts down to a 6 millimeters in size, and it's also known as a 1/4 inch. The next is a number 3, which cuts down to 10 millimeters in size, and it also is known as 3/8 of an inch. The next is a number 4, and the 4 cuts down to 13 millimeters, which is a 1/2 an inch. The next is a number 5, okay, and the 5 cuts down to 16 millimeters in size, and it is also known as 5/8 of an inch. And the next and the final guard that we normally use is a number 6, and this is a 19 millimeters, 3/4 of an inch. So you probably noticed already that on a scale of shortest hair length to longest hair length in the guard attachments, the shortest would be a 0.5 guard attachment, and the longest would be a number 6, like we just mentioned earlier. Now let's talk about what we use the clipper for. Number 1, we use the clipper to fade hair using guard attachments, like we explained earlier, for lengths up to number 3 to number 4, which is about a 1/2 an inch. And we also use the clipper to fade the beard with guard attachments for hair lengths up to number 6, which is 3/4 of an inch. We also use the clipper for clipper over comb technique, and this is to blend the fade and the corner of the hair into the top of the hair. And we also use the clipper with no guard attachment, just like this, open blade, to shape the beard for beards that are longer than 1 inch in length. This is a trimmer. The trimmer will cut the hair down to 00, which is shorter than the single 0 on the clipper with the lever closed. We use the trimmer to sharpen lines and to outline around the head and the beard. And also we can use this to go really short on a fade, or to cut hair down on the head, neck, and beard really short, basically, shorter than the number 0. This is the razor, and the razor will cut hair down to 000, which is shorter than the 00 on the trimmer. We use the razor to create the sharpest lines on the head and neck after we've already used the trimmer. We can also use the razor to cut the hair down to the skin for a very smooth finish on areas such as the head, the neck, and the beard. And it also, just like the trimmer, you can use it anywhere where the hair is short, and if you want to make it down to the skin and you want to make it very smooth, you can use the razor for that. This is a shaver. The shaver, similar to the razor we mentioned earlier, will cut the hair down to 000, which is shorter than the 00. We use the shaver for skin fades, and we use the shaver to cut hair down to the skin for a smooth finish on areas such as the head, neck, and beard, similar to the razor. Wherever the hair is short, we just make it shortest using the shaver. These are scissors. We use the scissors for scissor over finger technique to cut the top of the hair, or for an all-around scissor haircut, which is usually for hair lengths that are 3 inches or longer. And lastly, we use scissor for scissor over comb technique to either cut the entire side and back of the head, or to blend in the corners into the hair on top. Okay, so we do this when we're finished the fade and we're blending the corners in the back into the top of the hair. This is a thinning shear. We use thinning shears to reduce the density or thickness in hair. This can be done using thinning shear over finger technique, similar to the scissor over finger technique. And we also use it for thinning shear over comb, also similar to the scissor over comb. We use it to either reduce density anywhere really on the head, but mainly for the sides blending into the top. This is the blow dryer. The blow dryer has 3 temperature settings: hot, warm, and cool. And it also has 2 speed settings, low and high. We use the blow dryer to, of course, dry hair when wet. We use it to style hair or set the hair either down, up, or to the side. And we also use it to straighten a beard when the beard is longer than 1 inch. And we use that to shape it with the clipper.